各位媒体朋友，大家
Dear
好。
friends from media,
14届全国人大4
Good
次
morning.
会议首场代表通
the
道
first
现在开始
deputies。corridor of the
今天上午
fourth session of the
大会新闻
14th
中心邀请了6
MPC
位
now
来自
begins.
工业
This、morning we have
农业、
invited 6
科
deputies
技、
from the fields
教
of
育、
industry,
体育、
agriculture,
国防领域的
technology,
全国人大
education,
代表
sports, and
走
national
上代表通
defense
道，并
to
紧密结合自
come
身
to
的
the
履职，
corridor and to
回
meet
答
all
大
of
家
you,
的
and
提
they
问。
will answer your
现在
questions
请第一组代表，
according to their
谢谢。
experience. Shall we invite the first batch of deputies?
2位代表分别是
They are
中国一汽研发总院首席技能大师
research
杨永
and
修代表，
the senior technician
大家上午
from
好
the Research and Development Center of First
北京
Automotive Works
微芯区块链与边缘
杨永修
计算研究院院长董进代表。
Deputy Dong Jin, Director from Beijing Academy of Blockchain
谢谢。
and Edge
现在
Computing.
请大家开始提
Good
问，
morning. Now the floor is open to questions.
请中央广播电视总台记者提问。举手的
First
这位男
question,
士。
please.
谢谢主持人，我
Thank
是
you
中
very
央广
much.
播电
I'm
视总
with
台的记者，
China
我想
Media
提问
Group.
杨永修代
My
表。
question
杨
is
代表您
to
好，
Deputy
您从
Yang
一名
Yongxiu.
高职毕业生成长为
So
大佛工
from
匠、
a
首席技能大师，
vocational
攻克了
school
上百项
graduate,
技术难关，
and
在
then
追
you have
求
become a
极致
senior
精度的道
technician.
路上不断突
And
破。
you
那
have
大家都很好
constantly
奇，
made
支撑您一路
breakthroughs
闯关的
in
密码究竟是
craftsmanship.
什么
And
呢？
what is
谢
the
谢。
secret
好
of your
谢谢您的
success?
提问。大家好，我是
Thank
吉
you
林代
very
表
much.
团杨永修，
I'm from the
在
Jilin
中国仪
delegation.
器
My name is
研发
Yang
实质有限
Yongxiu.
工作。
I work at the
我曾
front
经
line
也
of
是一
the
个技术小
First
白，
Automotive Works.
图纸
I
看得
used
慢
to be
设备呢也玩不转，
not so
但我
knowledgeable
就是有些
about
不服
the
气，
skills
爱琢磨。
and those
别人
equipment,
能
but
干
I
的，我凭
dare
啥
to
不行？
defy the odds. And when
手艺这
others
东
can
西
do
啊
that,
没有
why
捷
can't
径，
I? So there's
就是
no
要把手
shortcuts
练出技
in
性，
terms of
让零
skills, and you
件
have
在
to
你手里
be
听话。
familiar. You
那么
have to
干
get
高精尖的
familiar
活
with
困难
all
呀
the
就更大
equipments and tools.
一个汽
And
车发动机钢
there's a lot of
体
difficulties
精度要
when
求
it
是
comes
头发丝
to
粗细的1/5，
a vehicle,
差1丝1
because you need
毫
to have
整车的性能啊都
precision.
会受到影响。不断失
And
败，
if you don't
我
have
们就
precision,
不断
you
的去
will
尝试，
end up
去挑
affecting
战
the。overall
一个
performance
工
of
件
the
需要
vehicle,
反复
and
调试
you need to
十
go
几遍
through rounds
甚
and
至
rounds
几
of
十遍。
adjustments,
有时候半夜躺在
and
床
dozens
上，
rounds of
这脑子
testing
里
and adjustments,
全
and
是工
sometimes
艺
when
和数
I'm
据。
lying on the bed,
因为我闯关的密
everything in
码
my
是什么？
mind is data
我觉得
and
呀，咱得
craftsmanship
真心的喜欢它，
so what is the
我对这些铁
secret of
疙瘩
success? I
是有
think
感情的。
passion and
解决
interest.
一个技术难题，
I feel this very
那个
strongly,
成就
and
感
to
比吃啥都香。
if you have solved
当
a
你不只
technical
是为了完
problem,
成
this
任务，
sense of
而
achievement
是真心的
is
想把这个技术难题
overwhelming.
研究
And
透
if，you truly want to
你就有
get
用不完的劲儿。
down to the bottom of this
还得
issue,
永远
and
把自
then
己
you will
当
feel
作
very
学生，
passionate, and you will
因
also
为
have
技
to
术
regard
天天在变，
yourself always
老
as
方
a
法
student
肯定
because
解决不了
technology
新问题。
keeps evolving. With
所以
the
无论
old
什么时
approach,
候
you cannot solve
我
the
们
new
都要不
problem.
断的去学习，
So no
不
matter
断的去
when,
研究新技术、新方法。
we're talking about you have
说
to
到底，
research into new
工匠这
approaches
俩
and new
字不是
methodologies.
光环，
A craftsman
是
is
责
not
任。
a glorious
咱得时
title.
时想着，
It's
咱们
more
手里
of
干出来的
a
精密零件
responsibility.
是代表着中国汽车工
You
业的
have, you
水
have
平。
to remind yourself
这种
that
动力啊，
the
就
high
源源不断
precision
了。
tools
再
coming
就
out of
是
your
我为
hand
我所从事
represent
的
the
事业
level
而
of
骄傲。
craftsmanship of the
去
country.
年9月3号，
And
我非常荣幸的
on September
受
the
邀参
3rd
加在
last
天安门
year, I
广
was
场举行的
very honored
阅
to be
兵观礼。
invited to the military
要说
parade
当时的感受
held
啊，
at the
那
Tiananmen
就是2个
Square.
字，
So I
骄
can
傲。
share with you my feelings.
咱们国家装备队伍开
It's
过来，
nothing but pride.
轰隆隆的那
And
个气
when
势啊，
the
震得人心里都发
having
烫。
military trucks
当看到我们
arrived
仪
at
器
the
自己造
scene,
的红旗
I
检阅
felt
车，
overwhelmed.
稳稳
And
的
when I
开过
saw
来那一
the
刻，
Hongqi
说实话，我
vehicle
的眼泪啊，实在是控制不
coming in
住。
front of my eyes, I couldn't
那不只是
hold
一辆
my
车啊，
tears. And it's
那
not
是
just
咱
the
们中国
vehicle.
汽车工业的脸面，
It's
是几
the
代汽车人的
macrocosm
心
of
血。
China's automotive industry,
我作为
and
一名
it
仪
is
器
the
人，
result
红
of
旗研发人，
generations of
那份自
all
豪感
workers.
实在是
And
无
I
法用语言
cannot
来形容。
describe how proud I
2020
felt
习近
at
平
the
总书
moment.
记
And
视察
in
仪器的时候，
2022, when President
嘱咐我
Xi
们
paid a visit
一
to
定要把关键核心技术
FAW,
掌
he
握在自己手里，
instructed that we
把
have
民
to
族汽车品牌搞
hold
上去。
firm to our own
如今，
hand, our own
我们自己
technologies.
能把最精密 密的发动机，
And
对
right
智
now
能的
we are
控制系
able
统
to
都牢牢的 攥在了自己手里。
develop our own
看到咱们的红旗是
automotive
与国家共进，与时代同
systems
行，
and technologies.
感到
And when I
特别的
see
光荣。
FAW
我
vehicles
们这些在车间里
marching
文化
ahead
归档
with
的
our
人，
times, I
能够
feel
参与到这个
glorified and I
伟
feel
大的
proud
事业
and I
这辈
feel
子
more than
值
privileged
了。
to be part of this great
谢谢。
times. Thank
谢
you.
谢。请大家继续提问，
Next question, please.
请北京日报记者提问。举手的这位男士，
Beijing Daily, please.
北京日报长安街知事记者提问，请问董进代表，
My question to Mr.
您
Dong
长期
Jin.
从事区块链技术研究，
You long in
很
the
多人都很关
industry
心
of
现在我
blockchain
国区块链
computing,
技术的
and a lot of
自主
people
创新
quite
进展得怎么
worried
样了？
and
区
also
块链
would
技
like
术
to know
怎样
what's the
服务于
progress
国家
made
战
in
略
this
呢？
industry
谢谢。
and how blockchain and edge computing
谢谢
could
您的提
contribute
问。
to the country's
区块
development.
链技术
Thank you for
呢
your
是一
question.
类
Blockchain
前沿的信息
technology, yes, indeed, is
在
a
人
quite
工智能
advanced
的
cutting-edge
算法、
technology.
算力、数据
We
三
talk
要
about
素
that
中的区块链是确保数据的
blockchain
真
is
实
actually
可
to
信
make sure
可
that the
溯
data is
可以说呢，
reliable
在
and
数字经济
authentic.
发展过程
We
中
talk about that
区块
could
链是
make
最
guarantee
关
that
键
the
的
traceability
数
of
字基础
data.
设施
We
之
talk
一。
about actually the
在
blockchain is the most
2019
important or one of the
年之前，
critical
我们
digital
国
fracture.
内的区块
In
链应用呢
2019,
开始
application of blockchain
涉及到政府、
started to spread,
民生、
covering
能源、
and
贸易
government
相关的领域
administration,
不过我们
energy,
也看到
trade, and other
绝
fields.
大部分
But
应
also
用
we could
是基
see
于
that a
国
lot of
外
the
的
application
底层
actually
技术
was based
那
on
个时候呢，
the base
我们
technology
国
or the
家
underlying
还没有
technology from other
自己的
countries.
区块链
Because
底
back
层
then
核心科技。
we did not have
2019
a
年
core
北
blockchain
京
underlying
主动
technology.
承担了国家的
Late in
战略任务，
2019,
快速汇聚
Beijing
在全
Academy
球
actually
区块
took
链
the
领域
initiative to
的顶
undertake
级
the
科学家
country's the
数百位。
strategic task
我们
gathering
组建
top
了
talent
微芯研
in the
究院
global blockchain
我
field,
们这家
hundreds
研
of
究
them.
院呢，就是用
We
集团军
formed
作战的方
the
式，
research
集中攻
institute.
坚解决
So
我
which
们国
means
家
that
区块链
inside we
领域
gathered
的
that
底
the
层
top
核心技术。
talents to help us to
经过了
tackle and
不懈的
solve
努力，
that's
我
the
和
core
团队
underlying
研发出
technology of the blockchain
全
field.
球首个
Through
软硬一
unremitting
体的
efforts,
区块链
my
底
team
层
and
操作系
I
统。
developed the world's
300
first
万行
integrated
源码
software and
的
hardware
全部
blockchain
开源开
underlying
放，
the
全
operating
社会
system,
免
and
费
also the
使
3
用，
million
极
lines
大
of
地
source
提升 了
codes actually
技术
are
的
all
社会
open
价值。
source,
与
free
此
for the
同
whole
时呢，
society to use,
我
greatly
们研
enhancing
发的
the social value of
全球
technology.
首款
At the same time,
96
the
核
world
的区块链
first
专用加速芯片，这个芯片呢，
the
能让
96
区块
core
链的性
blockchain
能呢
specific acceleration
提
chip
升50倍。
actually
更
can
重要
increase
的
the
是呢，
performance of the blockchain by
这项
50
技术
times.
成功突破了超大规模区块链网
So
络
these
所面临
the
的
technology
算
help
力
us
瓶颈。
that successfully
让我们国家
broken through
可
the
信的
key
数字基础
technical
设施呢，
problems
拥有
faced
了
by
中国
large-scale
芯。
blockchain
目前
networks. So this is
自主
actually
的
that
区
the
块链
China
系
chip
统
that
已
really
经
help
应
us to
用
make
到
this
16
happen.
个
So
中
right
央
now
部委
we have used that
27
to
个
that
中央企业。
16 the
在税务
government
领域，
departments and
我们国
27
家
the
每
central
年
enterprises.
数百亿张发
Every
票
year,
全部跑
and
在
more
自
than
主的区块
the
链网
tens
络
of
中的，
billions
用
of
区块链
invoices
来
actually
确保
our
我
country
们国
every
家
year are
每一
all
张发
running on
票
the
是
self-developed
真实
blockchain
可
network.
信可
Make sure
准。
that every invoice actually
在
is
跨境贸易
reliable,
领域，
genuine, and
自主
traceable.
的区块链实时
In
链
trade
通
industry,
不同行业、不同区域
especially the
的
cross-border
关键
trade,
核
the
心数据，
self-developed
让我
blockchain
们的
enable
跨境
real-time
通关
connection
效
of
率
key
的
core
指数级提
data,
升。
and
目
that
前
also
上链
enhancing
的企业
cross-border
已经
custom
超
clearance
过了
and
30
improved
万
their
家。
work
在自
efficiency.
主区块链网
Right
络
now,
中
we
承
could
载
see
的
that more
跨
than
境贸易金
that
额
the
呢，是万亿
300,000
元
enterprises
的
actually
水
was
平。
on the
在
blockchain
全球支付领域，自主
hosting
的区块链技术
the
和
cross-border
央
trade
行
volume
的
of 1 trillion
数
yuan
字人民币
in the
结
global
合，
payment field.
实现了
The
资金
self-developed
流、
blockchain technology
业务
also
流、
combined
信
with
息
the
流的
central
三流合
bank
一，
PBOCs,
也
the
形
digital
成了我们
currency,
国家的
realizing the
跨境
integration of
支
capital
付
flow,
新的
business
通
flow,
道。
and information flow. This also
目
helps to
前呢，
create a new channel for
随着
cross-border
应用的
payment
拓展，
in China.
国家级
Currently,
的
with
区
the
块链
expansion
网
of
络呢
application,
已经形成。这个网
China's
络的目的
blockchain
呢，
network has
has
就是
been
要把我
built.
们国家
So
跨
its
境贸易
purpose is to bring that the cross-border trade, global payments, and also other high-value core data within our own system. In February this year, President Xi Jinping also inspected technology innovation work in Beijing, and I'm very proud to report to the President Xi about the progress of blockchain independent innovation. Looking forward, we will keep in mind the General Secretary Xi's entrustment, hold firm to our ideals, and never let go, closely focus on the major strategic needs of our country, make sure that the core underlying technology in the blockchain field of our country remain at the forefront in this industry, and also to build a solid and reliable digital network and the Great Wall. Thank you.
现在请第二组代表。
Now let's bring on the second batch of deputies.
两位代表分别是
They are
江苏理夏河地区农科所研究员高德荣代
researcher
表，
from the Institute of Agricultural Sciences of Lixiahe
云
region
南
of
省
Jiangsu
文
province,
山州连城
高德
镇
荣.
洛松地小学
And
教
then we
师
also have
农家贵代表。
Nong Jiagui, a teacher from Luosongdi Primary
谢谢。
School in
现在请
Guangnan
大家
County
开始
of
提问。
Yunnan Province. Now the floor is open to questions.
请第一排举手的人民日报社记者提问。这位
First
女士
question, please.
谢谢主持人。
Thank
人民
you
日
very
报记
much.
者提
I'm
问
with，
我的问题
The
想要提
People's
给高德
Daily.
荣
My
代表
question。is to
今天是
Deputy
24
高德
节气里的
荣。
惊蛰，
And
正是农
today
作物生长的一个
we
关键时
are
期。
having
我们
a
知道您一
very
直是研究
important
种子的，所以我
day,
想请
which
问
is
您
the
对于保障
awakening
粮
of
食安
insects,
全
and
有什么
you
样的
pay
思考
particular
和
attention
领知体
to
会？谢
food
谢。
security and food safety. And
谢谢。
what considerations do
大家
you
好。
have in
我是高德
ensuring
荣。
food supply in China?
来自江苏理夏河地区。
Good morning. My name is 高德荣.
30多年来
I'm a researcher at the Institute of Agricultural Sciences from Lixiahe region of Jiangsu province. I have been dealing with wheat for
我和
the
千
past
千万万
30
农民
years.
兄弟一样，
Like
是追着
all
实力走
the
的。
peasants and
眼
farmers,
下
and we
正值小
follow
麦反迁拔地
the
期，苗情复杂，
agricultural
这几天
calendar
变化不断。
of the year. And
播种时3月寸，
when
分
you
粒就可能少几根。这里面的学
sow
问
the
得
seeds
向土地
to
请
a
教。
sufficient number, you will ensure
忙来忙去，
sufficient
其
yield.
实我
And
只做一件事，为我们国家培育
over
高
the
产抗
years,
病
I
小
have
麦。
only actually done one thing, which is to
大家
cultivate
可能听说
high
过
yield
小麦的癌
wheat.
症、
And
痴迷
you
病，
may have
一旦爆
heard
发，可能
the
颗粒无收。
wheat cancer, and when
江
that
苏
breaks
地
out,
处长
you
江
will
下游，
have zero
许多
yield. And
湿
the
度大，
Jiangsu locates at
是
the
痴迷 病
lower
的
stream of the
常
Yangtze
发
River. We
送
have
法区。
sufficient precipitation, and
2012
we are a major
很亲眼目睹
base of
一位老农
wheat and
在那因痴迷
paddy
病而
field.
绝色的麦
And
田
I
里流离。
saw a couple of years ago
那
that
一
because
幕
of
像
a
一根
cancer
刺
breakout
深深
among
地
the
扎在我的
wheat,
心
and
底。
we had
农民的
minimal
眼泪
yield of
就
the
是我们
wheat,
科技
and I
工作者
saw
攻坚
the
困难的
farmers
动力。
shedding out tears, and
怎
the
么
tears
做？
that they shed are
从
what
转病思
drives
路开始，
researchers.
我们跳出传统育种模式，
So we
通过
have
分子育种技术，尝试在种子力
brought
植
about
入
innovation
抗
to the
病菌，
traditional breeding technology,
30
and after
无
30
数组
years,
合，反复实
we
验。
have
终于
tried
在
multiple
2021
configurations
预
and
成
combinations, and
第一
in
个抗痴迷
in
病品种，
2020,
它不仅抗性强，
we
而且
managed
产量
to
高，千亩4万方，
produce
国产
the
可
first
达
anti-falling
600公斤。
wheat breed, and the per
这意
mule
味
of
着
yield
农民
reaches
可以少打药，多
600
打粮，
kilos,
收
and
成
that
更稳
means
当。
with less
品种改良
seed
一直
inputs
在路
and
上。
fertilizer input,
我
you
们
can
追求的
have
不仅是吃得饱，
sufficient yield,
更要
and
吃得
we do
好，
not just want to
还
feed
要让种粮
ourselves,
人有
we
份
have to feed ourselves well,
南
we
方
have to bring
稻麦人做，
security
大幅
to the
紧张。
farmers.
小麦播种期常
And
被迫推
in
迟。
the southern part of
怎么
China,
办？
because of climate,
我们
the
提出
sowing season
2吨
for
快
the
速发育
wheat
的
is
策略，
oftentimes
让小麦学会抢
postponed.
时间，
So we have
育
to
成了
race
像
with
杨麦阿宋
the
这样
calendar.
耐迟播的品种，
And
疾病
after
12月份播种，
genetically
国产
modifying
也能达
the
到600公斤。
seeds of the wheat, we
我
can
们还针对
reduce, we can
饼干高
resolve
地
this
区
issue, and we can also ensure a yield of 600
有种
kilos
呢
per
长期依赖进
move of land, and we also changed the history of over-reliance on imports. We are
为我
just
们端到
like
饭碗，
a
守护粮仓安
army
全，贡献力
ensuring
量。
the security of China's food.
作为一名人大代表，
As
我的
a
女儿答卷
NPC
也写在田野上。
deputy,
高
I
标准农田建设能不能
write
更
my
快
answers on the
惠农补
vast
贴
fields
能否
of
更精准？
China, and we want
这些
to
都是我在田埂上
put on the
设计到
ground
的生意。
precision,
我也像
poverty
记录数据一样，
elevation,
认真记
and
下，
I
转化为
take
一
note
份
of
份代表
a
记
lot
录。
of data and
我提出的
translate the data
关
into
于
my
高标准农田建
tangible
设投入的信息
actions. I
可以
have
采纳。
submitted a
名目投
proposal
入
which has to
从
do with
1750元
rolling
提高
out
至
high
3000元。
standard experimental
接下来，
lands,
我
and
将继
I
续
also
深耕麦
propose
田，
to
让土地多
increase
采
the
粮，
subsidy
让农
to
民多收入。
farmers, and
我们一
going
起
forward,
把
I
饭
will
碗端得
work
更
very
稳、
hard
更
to
牢。
increase
谢谢。
the income of the farmers and ensure
谢谢。
greater food
请大
security.
家继续提问。
Thank you. Next question, please.
请第一排举手的新华社记者提问，这位男士。
谢谢。新华社记者提
新华
问
News
那我的问
Agency.
题
My
想提问给
question
农家贵代
to
表。
Mr. 农家
您在
贵。
洛松地小学担任了
You come
40年
from
的乡
洛
村教师。
松地 and
那我
you've
们
been
很
there for
我们
40
很好
years
奇，
as the
洛松
teacher
地
in
这个名
primary
字
school in 洛松
是
地。
怎么来
So
的？
would you please
它
first tell us what's the name of 洛松地?
我
What's
们很
the
好奇
meaning of that?
洛松地小学这个名字很特别，它是怎么
Because
来
it's
的？
very
能给我
special.
们讲讲
So
您
we
所
would like
经
to
历的
know a
洛
little
松
bit
地故
more
事吗？
about the story behind that naming. And can you share with us more stories and your experience? Thank you very much. My name is 洛松地. Actually, the location of our school actually is a small village without a name, and it also used to be a place for that the treatment of that leprosy patients, and also usually people call that a village. Or that's the leprosy village. So in 1986, when I was just 20 years old, I found a job there. I saw the disabled elderly people. Actually, I wanted to run away, but you know, I saw the children's eyes. The eyes was eager, stay eager for knowledge. I couldn't take a step to run away, so I stayed. Think about that, the difficulties. You know that there's no that the textbook and the classroom actually borrow from the hospitals. And the room just was around 20 square meters. And the textbook actually were second books I found here and there. And there's no that test papers. And actually, the students finished that the third grade, they actually need to go other places to continue the fourth grade. They actually cried to me and said, teacher, we would like to stay. We don't want to stay in the village without the name for a lifetime. So I think about that, how we could help them. And I actually recruit a new class. There's no that infrastructure. We talk about there's no buildings. So actually they built the building, the room by their hands with their fists. And we talk about the elderly people. Actually, they didn't have any tools back home. They just used their cooking tools. How about to mix the concrete, the mortar, so that they work day and night like this, and the children witness all these, and they study even harder. In 1992, my first batch of students graduated from primary school, and when they're filling out their enrollment materials and the column of home address, I actually didn't dare to write down the name of the village. And actually, I wrote down Luosongdi. So why I call it Luosongdi? Because back then, this village actually grew a lot of peanuts, and actually, you know, it's a very famous article in our textbook. It's called "Falling Peanuts." We talk about that the cover or the appearance of peanuts is simple and unadorned, and the fruit is deeply buried in the ground. Actually, although this is a village with a lot of disability people, but still they have a beautiful heart. So they are very supportive of education. And I also talk to other teachers and ask them that they actually came to me. They know that do you know students from Luosongdi, they actually performed really good in exam. The high score 206 points. So lowest 135 points, always exceeding the score, the average line. Actually, I brought that good news back to the village, and the whole village actually was so happy. I back then was only one teacher there. I sent away a total of 1,000 primary school graduates, 12 classes, 126 children. They successfully entered the workforce. I spent there 40 years. People ask me, how many 40 years does a one person have in the whole lifetime? Is it worse to doing that? I said it was worse. Because my students said if Mr. was not really there or is hesitated a little bit at the beginning, and we would never be able to leave the mountains. Talk about that knowledge actually changed our fate. You could see right now with the support of the local government and also the sectors of society, previously that the closed village has now totally transformed and become a modern village of ethnic unity and progress. As a teacher from grassroots, I will continue to stay in my post to make my dedicated contribution, and also I will continue my endeavor and stay true to my original aspiration, the founding mission. I believe this is how I pay back to the people, to the society. On September 3rd last year, as a representative outstanding party member across the country, I got the honor to participate the 80th anniversary of the victory of the Chinese People's War of Resistance against the Japanese aggression and the World Anti-Fascist War as a commemorating event. And events, I also joined others singing Ode to the Motherland. Actually, back to the village, I also share my thoughts with the children. I told the story of the great spirit of the war resistance. I told them that study hard, strive to make the country stronger. And for myself, I will continue to practice that wholeheartedly serving the people. Because like for myself, when I decided to join the party, I made my application saying I'm an entrepreneur and I'm willing to fall behind others. I will continue my job. Thank you.
谢谢。现在请第三组代表。
Now let's bring on stage the third batch of deputies.
两位代表分别是江西省水上运动管理中心运动员
Jiangxi Provincial
徐
Water
世晓代
Sports
表，
Management Center, an athlete. Her name is
空
Xu
军
Shishou.
航空兵某旅飞行员
We also have
王文义代表。
a pilot from Air Force Aviation Brigade of the Chinese
谢谢。
People's
现
Liberation
在请大
Army.
家开始提问。
Wang Wenyi. Now the floor is
请
open.
中国日报社记者提问，举手这位女士。
First question, please.
中国日报记者提问，
With
我的问
China
题提
Daily,
给徐
my
诗晓
question
代表。
is to
代表您
Xu
好
Shishou.
您在女子双
Good
人滑
morning.
艇500米项目上
At
蝉联了
the,
东京、巴黎2届奥运会的冠军。在
You
您乘风
were
破浪
the
的过程
champion
当中
in，
一定
Tokyo
有
and
很多
Paris
难以忘怀
in
的瞬间，可不可以给我们分
women's
享一下？
double
谢谢。
canoe, and what are your success
好的，感谢这位媒体朋友的提问。大家好，我是
Thank you
来
very
自
much
江西
for
团
your
的代表
question.
徐世
I'm
晓，
from
也是一名
the
中国
Jiangxi
皮划
delegation.
艇
My
运动
name
员
is
非常高兴呢，今天在这里和大家一起
and
分享我职业生涯
I'm
中
an
一些
athlete of
难忘的回忆。
canoe.
也许啊，很多人
It's
知
a
道
great
我拿
pleasure
过
to
2届奥运会
share
的冠
with you
军，
my
但是
experience
呢，却很少有人
as
知
a
道
canoe
我经历过
athlete.
退
And
役
you
再
know
复
that I
出
have。won 2 Olympic
我出
medals,
生在
but
江西农村，
few of you
很
know
小的时
that
候
I
呢，
was
经常
born
帮
in
家里
a
干农活，
village in
也练出了很大的力气。
Jiangxi
经常和
province.
班里的男
I
同学呀扳手腕，
helped
也
with
赢过
the
不少
farm work
男
from a
生。
young age, and
13
I
岁的时候，
also
体校教练去学校招生，我意外成为一名皮划艇运动
I
员。
also
14岁进入
do
专业队
wrist wrestling
，15
with
岁
the
拿
boys in
到
our
第
class,
一个
and
全国冠
when I
军。
was
本
15
以为
years
我
old,
的
I
体
got
育
my
生涯
first
会继续
champion
这样平凡的走下去。
across
但
the
是呢，
country,
因为
and
女
I
子
thought
划
that
艇项目未
then
被
I
正式
could
列入奥运项
have
目。
a smooth
2013年
journey
带着遗
and
憾
career.
选择了退役。
But
到
I
2017
chose
年
a
退
women's
役的
canoe.
第
But
4
in
个年头，
2013, I
有一
gave
天
up,
我的
and
教练打电话
then
找到
4 years later,
我，
my
问我是
coach
否愿意复出。
telephoned me
因为
and
女子划
asked
艇
me
项目已经
whether do I like to rejoin the game of women's canoe. And he told me that it has rejoined the Olympic family and it will be accommodated at the Tokyo Olympics. At the time, I was working for the private sector, and I had waved goodbye to this sport for 4 years, and it's very hard to pick it back up. But the dream of participating in the Olympic Games was just like a fire. It's igniting me, and the first challenge I felt was I encountered was the 13th national sports competition in Tianjin, and I have to win this game. Maybe it has to do with where I came from, the old revolutionary base, and at the time I was only 14 months away, and I engaged in very intense trainings, and I do 14 hours of training every day, and after the day's training I felt like overstretched, and at the end of every day I have to have my knees treated, and I remember feeling drowsy and dizzy after a day's hard training, but I never gave up, and I continued with my hard training, and then in 2010 at the final round of the national sports competition, I got 2 gold medals, and I was successfully elevated to the national team. And when I put on the uniform of the Team China, my dream at the time was to not just attend the Olympic Games. I had the dream of achieving a gold medal at the Olympic Games so that my national flag can be hoisted behind me. And from the World Championships in 2019, I worked together with my partner in women's double canoe, and whenever we are in the game, we are number 1, and our speed is sometimes dubbed as China speed, and at the Paris Olympic Games, and we made a record in terms of the gold medals that we have won overseas, and this is making me more than proud. And as an athlete, as the athlete that has gone through many years of training, I have also proposed some suggestions to the NPC. I want sports to be spread across the country. I hope more people can join sports just like me, so that you can harvest health and happiness from sports. Thank you.
请大家继续提问。
Next question, please.
这个问题请解放军报社记者提问。
I would like
解放军报记
to
者提
ask
问
the。
王
PLA
毅代表
Daily.
您好。
So from PLA Daily, my question to Mr. Wang Wenyi. So we conducted our interview with the troops. I could really strongly feel that the new trend of strict training and striving for a strong military in the new era. What's your feeling? Thank you for your question. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to express our heartfelt thanks for your care to the grassroots officers and soldiers. So let's see a pilot from Air Force Aviation Brigades. It's my mission, the daily routine to training. And our brigade is a unit with a glorious tradition. And the military corridor of the brigade is built right next to a corridor, because that corridor actually to convey the history and also talk about the glories, the whole experience, one picture, photo after another, really that told the combat track of the troop across the country. As long as the mission call, the officers and soldiers respond to the call and go to the battlefield. And we have left our footprints in 14 places in 7 provinces, and the story of our predecessors not only let us understand that for whom we fly and where we fly, but also make us feel that the development of the army. Every day we sing just one thing, is training for the real battle, preparing for the real battle. As a J-16 pilot, my feeling is that the tighter the combat readiness training of the grassroots units, the stronger the combat capability. I remember that one thing is when the fighter took off, the farmlands and the villages below became smaller, and the air actually quite complex. So actually, I need to have really close collaboration with my teammates. And when we finish the first round of confrontation training, we immediately reviewed in the air. So from that's the training mode, from the intense air combat mode to the dedicated operation. And then we return to the air combat mode. So every day, these kind of two modes actually switch one to another. It was really, really exhausted physically, but we actually pushing our boundary, pushing our limits. When we finished the mission in the evening, when all the fighter jets returned, looking at thousands of houses with lights in the distance, I feel the happiness, and because that reunion of every family actually is all guarded by us. We talk about this is a really heavy task, but actually I feel very proud of myself with the mission, because we see that reunion, the peace of the country, and the happiness of the people. We talk about that we need to train the air winged drain sword to build the Great Wall of the blue sky. We need to safeguard the airspace. And the fourth plenary session of 20th Central Committee of the CPC had painted a blueprint for building a strong military. And next year, we also will mark the 100th anniversary of founding of the PLA. We have the goal even clearer, and also we know that responsibility is more significant. We will seize every second, every minute, strive to overcome difficulties, stand ready for battle, and fulfill our mission, contribute our strengths to the realization of the blueprint. Thank you. Friends from the media, after the morning session of the NPC, we'll have the first minister corridor. We'll invite minister from the Ministry of Technology and the Information Industry and Information Science and Technology and the State-Owned Asset Supervision Administration Commission. Please stay tuned. Thank you very much. This is the end of the Deputies Corridor. Fellow deputies,
第14届全国人民代表大会第4次会议
the fourth session of the 14th National People's Congress should be attended by 2,878 deputies. Today, 2,765 deputies are present, with 113 absent. The number of attendees meets the quorum requirement. I now declare the fourth session of the 14th National People's Congress of the People's Republic of China begin. Please all rise for the national anthem. Please be seated. Fellow deputies, there are 7 items on today's agenda. Now let's move on to the first item, deliberation of the government work report. Now, I would like to give the floor to Premier of the State Council, Comrade Li Qiang, to deliver the report. Fellow deputies, on behalf of the State Council, I will now report to you on the work of the government for your deliberation, and also for comments from members of the National Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference. Part 1. A review of our work in 2025. The year 2025 stood out as truly remarkable. At its fourth plenary session, the 20th Central Committee of CPC set out an inspiring blueprint for China's development over the next 5 years. We commemorated the 80th anniversary of the victory in the Chinese People's War of Resistance against the Japanese aggression and the World Anti-Fascist War. These events have greatly lifted our national spirit, fostered patriotism among our people, and further galvanized the strength for pursuing our goals. Amidst a profound and complex development both at home and abroad, the Party Central Committee, with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, rallied the Chinese people of all ethnic groups and led them in meeting challenges head-on and working hard with determination, keeping in mind the new development philosophy and pursued high-quality development. Keeping in mind both domestic and international imperatives. Thanks to these efforts, the main goals and tasks for economic and social development in 2025 were accomplished. The 14th Five-Year Plan was brought to a successful conclusion, and solid new strides were made in advancing Chinese modernization. Over the past year, the Chinese economy has proved remarkably resilient. Forging ahead against the headwinds, the economy remained generally stable and steady growth was registered. GDP grew by 5%, reaching 140.19 trillion yuan. Overall employment remained stable, with 12.67 million urban jobs created, and the average surveyed urban unemployment rate stood at 5.2%. Foreign trade registered rapid growth. Significant advances were made in export diversification, and basic equilibrium was maintained in the balance of payments. Public well-being initiatives delivered more robust outcomes. Personal incomes rose in step with economic growth. Poverty alleviation gains were consolidated and expanded. The policy of providing 1 year of free preschool education was implemented, benefiting 14 million children. And over 30 million children under 3 benefited from the child care subsidies launched nationwide last year. Grain output rose to 715 million metric tons. Encouraging headway was made in diffusing risks in key areas. Overall social stability was ensured. Over the past year, China has achieved dynamic, innovation-driven, and high-quality development. New quality productive forces grew steadily, and numerous new advances were made in science and technology. China led the way in research, development, application of AI, biomedicine, robots, and quantum technology. New breakthroughs were made in the independent research and development of chips. The Tianwen-2 probe embarked on the interplanetary exploration mission. Large-scale application of Beidou navigation satellite system were extended. And Fujian, China's first domestically built aircraft carrier equipped with an electromagnetic catapult system, was officially commissioned. The industrial structure continued to improve. The value added of high-tech manufacturing and equipment manufacturing grew by 9.4% and 9.2% respectively, while the output of industrial robots and integrated circuits rose by 28% and 10.9% respectively. New energy vehicle output exceeded 16 million units. And the number of electric vehicle charging facilities topped 20 million. A drop of 5.1% in energy consumption per unit of GDP continued to improve. What we achieved in 2025 was indeed hard-won. Rarely in many years have we encountered such a grave and complex landscape where external shocks and challenges were intertwined with domestic difficulties and tough policy choices. The Party Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core led us in meeting these challenges with the pressing ahead with fortitude and composure. We firmly safeguard China's national interest on the international front. On the domestic front, we focus on running our own affairs well. We prepared for the worst-case scenario, striving for the best. Not only did we maintain overall macroeconomic stability and secure new advances in high-quality development, but we also significantly bolstered morale and confidence across society. During this process, we deepen our understanding of what is needed to deliver in economic work under new circumstances. We must fully tap the potential of the economy, both provide policy support and pursue reform and innovation. Both foster market vitality and conduct effective regulation, invest in both physical assets and people, and hone our own capabilities to navigate external challenges. Once again, it has been shown that upholding the centralized unified leadership of the Party Central Committee is the fundamental guarantee for overcoming all difficulties and advancing all of our work. It has been shown that the Chinese people possess the confidence, wisdom, and strength to surmount any obstacle that lies ahead. Last year, we continued to enrich our understanding of and apply Xi Jinping's thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era. We also fully applied the guiding principle from the 20 CPC National Congress and the plenary sessions of the 20 CPC Central Committee. Acting on the decisions and plans of the Party Central Committee, we mainly did the following work. First, we implemented more proactive and effective macro policies and worked to maintain stable economic performance. Early in the year, we took all necessary steps to prepare for emerging a complex and volatile situation. In the first quarter, China's economy got off to a good start. From the second quarter on, in response to new developments facing the economy, particularly the impact of U.S. tariff hikes, we fully leveraged policies already in place and introduced a range of more robust measures to maintain employment and economic stability. These steps effectively cushioned downward economic pressure and ensured the fulfillment of major objectives for the year. We'll pursue a more proactive fiscal policy and an appropriately accommodative monetary policy. Government spending was increased. We also lowered the policy interest rates and the RRR. Consumer goods trading programs were ramped up, resulting in over 2.6 trillion yuan in commodity sales. Total retail sales of consumer goods topped 50 trillion yuan. To boost effective investment, we step up efforts to implement two major projects. Funding for equipment upgrades were allocated and put to use more quickly, driving an 11.8% increase in investment in equipment purchases. New types of policy-backed financial instruments were introduced to guarantee the development of the realistic market. Thanks to that, the coordinated measures, we diffuse risks in small, medium, local financial institutions, help them to deliver the result of these policies. Second, we pursued innovation-driven development and continued to build a modernized industrial system. We implemented strategic plans for building China's strengths in science and technology. Last year, China's R&D spending reached 2.8% of GDP, and the value of technology contract transactions rose by 10.8%. The integration of technological and industrial innovation picked up pace. Transformation and upgrading of traditional industry continued, and the AI Plus initiative continued to strive. AI industrial application gathered pace, and the value added of core digital economy industries exceeded 10.5% of GDP. Third, we further deepened reform and opening up and ensured smooth flows in the national economy. We took solid steps to implement the reform plans adopted at the third plenary session of the 20 CPC Central Committee. We implemented the guidelines on developing a unified national market, issued an updated negative list for market access, and we also gained active results in the reform of SOEs. We also introduced measures to boost the private investment. overdue payments owed to enterprises were settled. We took the initiative to open China wider and also advanced unilateral opening up in a well-ordered way. Exports for the year grew by 6.1%. Thanks to a new initiative launched to keep foreign investment stable, we have seen good progress, and island-wide special custom operations were launched in the Hainan Free Trade Port. Solid steps were taken to advance high-quality Belt and Road cooperation, further boosting practical cooperation in various fields. Fourth, we moved forward with both new urbanization and all-round rural revitalization, and promoted coordinated development between urban and rural areas and between different regions. In implementing the plan set out at last year's Central Urban Work Conference, we foster modern metropolitan areas and also advance the people moving to cities from rural areas to grant them the permanent urban residency. And the share of permanent urban residents in the total population rose to 67.9%. And we also further consolidate, expand the poverty alleviation gains and bring them integrated with the rural revitalization. The number of employed people across those lifted out of poverty remain at above 30 million. We intensified implementation of regional strategy and enhanced interconnected development among different regions. Fifth, we ensured the people's well-being and actively developed social programs. We adopted a new supportive policy to stabilize employment. We ensured stable employment for key groups. We advanced the 3-year action plan for boosting China's strength in education, and also continue to advance development of the community-level schools. And the medical service were improved and covered all the Grade 2 and Grade 3 public general hospitals in the county level. And we see that the minimum basic old age benefits for rural and non-working urban residents were increased by 20 yuan per month. The private pension system were implemented nationwide. And we delivered more extensive and effective social assistance. Cultural program industry were boosted. Domestic tourist trips increased by 16.2%, and inbound tourist trips by 17.1%. We successfully hosted the 9th Asian Winter Games and the 15th National Games. We also witnessed a strong surge in recreational sports events and public fitness activities. 6. We worked faster to build a beautiful China and advance the green and low-carbon development. We took solid measures to improve both the quality and efficacy of air pollution prevention and control. In cities at above the prefecture level, the average concentration of fine particulate matter fell by 4.4%. Efforts to conserve major rivers, important lakes, and reservoirs were intensified. And the initiative was launched to build the green and low-carbon transition in key industries. In total energy consumption, the share of non-fossil energy reached 21.7%. China announced its 2035 nationally determined contributions to response to climate change, demonstrating our commitment as a responsible major country.
7. We continue to enhance government performance and develop new and better approaches to social governance. We implemented the party committee's strategic plans for conducting full and rigorous party self-governance, launched a study campaign for fully implementing the 8-point decision on improving work conduct and strengthen efforts to improve party conduct, build integrity, and combat corruption. We also addressed pointless formalities to lighten the burden on those working on the ground. We continue to build a law-based government. We submitted 13 legislative proposals to the Standing Committee of the NPC, and we also accepted oversight in compliance with the law and handled with careful attention. We also launched a special campaign on regulating enterprise-related administrative law enforcement. We refined the mechanism for ensuring regular headways on key patterns in the delivery of one-stop government services. And the 3-year action plan to address the root causes of workplace accidents and ensure production safety was carried out. And we also take active measures to crack down on illegal and criminal activities of all types in accordance with the law. And all this has led to further progress in advancing the Peaceful China initiative. In 2025, we made new advances in conducting major country diplomacy with Chinese characteristics. President Xi and other party and state leaders visited many countries and attended a host of major bilateral and multilateral events, including the China Central Asia Summit, the 32nd APEC Economic Leaders Meeting, the Virtual BRICS Summit, and the Chinese G20 Summit. China also hosted several major diplomatic events, such as the SCO Tianjin Summit, the Global Leaders Meeting on Women, and the Fourth Ministerial Meeting of the China Select Forum. We remained firm in opposing protectionism and unilateral bullying acts, in upholding multilateralism, openness, and cooperation. China proposed the Global Governance Initiative and continued to promote the building of a community with a shared future for mankind, and played a positive and constructive role in addressing global challenges and resolving regional and international hotspot issues. With these efforts, China made important contributions to global peace and development. 2025 marked the conclusion of the 14th five-year plan. Over the past 5 years, the CPC Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core has rallied the people of all ethnic groups across the country and led us in responding to the once-in-a-century COVID-19 pandemic and other extraordinary shocks and challenges, and in securing major achievements in the cause of the party and the country. And this has ensured a good beginning for our journey towards the second centenary goal. China's economy reached new heights. China's GDP crossed successive thresholds, topping 110, 120, 130, and 140 trillion yuan. We have registered an annual average growth of 5.4%, well above global average. New breakthroughs were achieved in technological and industrial innovation. R&D spending increased by an annual average of 10%. New strides were made in reform and opening up. We made solid gains in reforms and in progress of unified national market, and all access restrictions on foreign investment in manufacturing were lifted. People's well-being was elevated to a new high. Per capita disposable income increased at an average rate of 5.4%, and a total of over 60 million urban jobs were created. The average life expectancy reached 79.25 years. Fast progress was achieved in ecological conservation. In cities at and above prefecture level, the proportion of days with good or excellent air quality rose to 89.3%. China achieved the world's fastest and largest increase in forest resources and created the world's largest and fast-growing renewable energy system. China's ability to safeguard security has improved. Security capacity was bolstered considerably, and we held firm to the bottom line of not having any systemic risks. Thanks to arduous and unrelenting efforts, we have accomplished all 20 major targets, 17 major strategic targets, and 102 major projects set out in the outline of the 14th five-year plan. Fundamentally, we owe these remarkable achievements to the CPC Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, which has been at the helm charting our course, and to Xi Jinping's thoughts on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era, which has provided us with sound guidance, and to the concerted efforts of the whole party, the entire military, and the Chinese people of all ethnic groups. On behalf of the State Council, I express my sincere thanks to all the people and to all other political parties, people's organizations, and public figures from all sectors of the society. I convey our heartfelt appreciation to our fellow countrymen and women in the Hong Kong and Macau special administrative regions in Taiwan and those residing overseas. I also extend our sincere appreciation to the governments of other countries, international organizations, and friends across the world that have shown understanding and support for us in China. While recognizing our achievements, we are also clear-eyed about the difficulties and challenges we face. The evolving external environment is exerting a greater impact on China, and geopolitical risks are rising. Global economic momentum remains sluggish, while multilateralism and free trade are under severe threat. At home, we still face quite a few problems and challenges, both old and new. In economic development and transformation, the task of transitioning to new growth drivers is formidable. Some enterprises, they are having difficulties running their business, and the government is having budgetary revenue issues, and there is still room for improvement in the work of the government. Some policies upon implementation have not delivered as expected. Some officials lack the ability and solutions needed to drive high-quality development. Some officials have a misguided understanding of what it means to perform well, and corruption still occurs frequently in some sectors and localities. While these difficulties are not to be ignored, we still have every reason to be firmly confident. The conditions underpinning China's long-term growth and its underlying trend remain unchanged. And China's advantages of political system and the fact that we are a major country are demonstrating, and we will surely open up even more promising prospects for China's development if we respond to these questions in the right way. Second, main objectives and major tasks for the 15th five-year plan period. In accordance with the recommendations of the Party Committee for formulating the 15th five-year plan period for national economic and social development, the State Council has drafted the outline of the 15th five-year plan for national economic and social development, which has been submitted to this session for your review. I will now brief you on the major indicators and main objectives. We have drafted 20 main indicators covering several areas. In the area of economic development, we cover structure, growth, and efficiency. In the area of innovation, there are altogether 3 indicators. In the area of public well-being, we have proposed indicators covering employment, income, education, medical care, health, elderly care, and child care. Altogether, 7 indicators in the area of public well-being. In the area of green and low-carbon development, in the fields of carbon reduction and pollutants control, there are altogether 5 indicators. In terms of security, there are indicators proposed in the fields of food and energy production capacity. With regards to major strategic tasks, the draft outline set out the major tasks in the following 4 areas. The first is pursuing high-quality development. We want to consolidate the foundation for economic development, centering on a modern industrial system with advanced manufacturing as the backbone. To achieve greater self-reliance and strength in science and technology, one must deliver advances in original innovation and breakthroughs in core technology. In the fields of advancing the Beautiful China initiative, we will further refine our eco-environment. Second, strengthening the domestic economy. We must remain committed to exerting the inherent momentum of the domestic economy, and we will also focus on unleashing the great potential of China as a great manufacturer, and also build a unified national market, and also revitalize the initiatives of all the market players. We will also focus on dual circulation, make the most of all positive market elements.
Third, advancing common prosperity for all. We would like to build a childbirth-friendly society, improve population service, develop education that meets the people's expectation, raise the average years of schooling among the working-age population to 11.7, move faster to both advance the Healthy China initiative and build a country strong in sports, raise life expectancy to 80 years, proactively respond to population aging, and increase the share of nursing beds in elderly care facilities to 73%, promote high-quality full employment, improve the income distribution system, and refine the social security system. We'll continue to consolidate and expand our poverty alleviation gains. Fourth, ensuring both development and security. We will take measures to guarantee that the supply capability for food, energy, and resources, and make sure that the grain production capacity could reach 725 million metric tons, and in overall energy production capacity to the equivalent of 5.8 billion metric tons of standard coals. Third, major projects to consider the consistency of the projects. The draft outline processed a total of 109 major projects in 6 areas based on a full consideration of their strategic value, guiding role, and continuity. We would like to let the government taking the lead and also drive the whole society to participate. And we will fill in that the shortcomings and also to sustain the growth. Looking forward, we are fully confident about the future. Under the strong leadership of the Party Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, with the concerted efforts of all of us across the country, we will surely turn the inspiring blueprint of the 15th Five-Year Plan into a living reality. Part 3. Overall requirements and policy orientations for economic and social development in 2026. This year is the first year of the 15th Five-Year Plan period. To deliver in our work, we in government must, under the strong leadership of the Party Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, do the following. Follow the guidance of Xi Jinping's thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era, fully implement the guiding principles from the Party's 20th National Congress and the plenary sessions of the 20th Party Central Committee, act on the guideline of the 4th plenary session of the 20th Party Central Committee and last year's Central Economic Work Conference, fully and faithfully apply the new development philosophy on all fronts, move faster to foster a new pattern of development, and promote high-quality development. Adhere to the general principle of pursuing progress while ensuring stability, keep in mind both domestic and international parameters, imperatives, better ensure both development and security, implement more proactive and effective macro policies, make our policies more forward-looking, targeted, and coordinated, further boost domestic demand, improve supply, optimize the allocation of new resources while making the best use of existing ones, develop new quality productive forces in light of local conditions, advance the development of a unified national market, continue to prevent and diffuse risks in key areas, provide greater support to keep employment, enterprises, operations, markets, and expectations stable, promote high-quality economic growth while achieving appropriate increase in economic output, maintain social harmony and stability. All these will ensure we got off to a good start in the 15th five-year plan period. The main targets for development this year are as follows: GDP growth of 4.5 to 5%, while striving for better in practice. Surveyed urban unemployment rate of around 5.5%. Over 12 million new urban jobs. CPI increase of around 2%. Personal income growth in step with economic growth. A basic equilibrium in the balance of payments. Grain output of around 700 million metric tons. A reduction of around 3.8% in carbon dioxide emissions per unit of GDP. In proposing these targets, we have considered the need to leave some room for structural adjustments, risk prevention, and reform in the opening year of this five-year plan period, so as to lay a solid foundation for delivering better performance in the coming years. The GDP growth target is well aligned with our long-range objectives through the year 2035, and also in line with the long-term growth potential of China's economy. As favorable conditions for achieving these targets are in place, all local governments should, in light of local realities, make solid efforts to deliver good outcomes. In terms of policy orientation, we would like to pursue the growth progress while ensuring stability, improve both the quality and performance of growth, boost synergy between adopted policies and new ones, enhance counter and cross-cyclical adjustments, and make macroeconomic governance more effective. We will continue to implement a more proactive fiscal policy. The deficit to GDP ratio for this year is set at around 4%. The government deficit is set at 5.89 trillion yuan. 230 billion yuan more than last year. A total of 1.3 trillion yuan of ultra-long special treasury bonds will be issued to support two major strategies and two new programs. A total of 300 billion yuan of special treasury bonds will be issued to enable large state-owned commercial banks to replenish their capital. This year, 4.4 trillion yuan of local government special purpose bonds will be issued to support major projects implementation, replenish hidden debts, and also settle overdue payments owed by governments. We will continue to improve spending structure and make that the government spending, fiscal spending, in a better way to use. The central government will increase its fiscal transfer payment to local governments in order to make sure that at the primary level, basic living needs are met, salaries are paid, and governments function normally. And we will further reinforce financial economic discipline, strengthen budget constraints, and strictly control general expenditures. Every cent we save must be spent on solving critical development problems and meeting people's urgent needs. We will continue to apply appropriately accommodative monetary policy. We will maintain adequate liquidity. The increase of aggregate financing and monetary supply in step with projected economic growth and CPI levels. We will develop new and better structured monetary policy instruments, smooth out the channels for monetary policy transmissions, and also guide financial institutions to boost support for key priorities such as domestic demand expansion, scientific and technological innovation, macro, small, medium enterprises. We will continue to lower and kept general lower level for the overall financing cost. We will improve coordination between reform measures and macro policies. We will remove the bottleneck and obstacles impeding economic flows through reform. and cultivate internal growth momentum. We will enhance the consistency of our macro policy orientation, make such policies more effective. All policies we would like to place and introduced, and then they could form the synergy, and we will boost the coordination among different policies. We will refine the mechanism for managing expectations to bolster public confidence. Fourth,
first, build a strong, unified national market and build plans for income increase for both urban and countryside dwellers. And we will also build a number. We will also roll out a number of substantial measures to help farmers to increase their revenues and income. And also we will also allocate 250 billion yuan worth of super long-term national bond to help the enterprises. And we will also allocate 100 billion yuan special fiscal financial coordination fund, and we will make the best use of combined measures such as loan interest subsidies, financing guarantee, and risk compensation. We will broaden the coverage of low interest subsidies for personal consumers and service entities, and we will also revitalize offline consumption and phase out illegitimate barriers for consumption, and we will also introduce for primary and secondary school students in localities where conditions meet the spring and autumn holidays. This year, we have a total of 755 billion yuan earmarked in this year's central government budget for investments, and we will also allocate 800 billion yuan raised from ultra-long special treasury bonds to implement major national strategies and enhance security capacity in key areas. And quotas for local government special purpose bonds earmarked for projects will be raised and placed under separate management, and a total of 800 billion yuan will be allocated from the ultra-long special treasury bonds. This will be driving the vitality of private sector investments. Second, foster new growth drivers at a faster pace. We will upgrade traditional industries, and 200 billion yuan will be raised from ultra-long special treasury to support large-scale equipment upgrades. We will launch a new round of initiatives to drive high-quality development in key manufacturing chains. In the meantime, we will channel more support to SMEs in digital transformation. A number of smart factories and intelligent supply chains will be built to enhance manufacturing, and we will also foster standards, enhance quality oversight, and promote brand building. We will nurture emerging industries and industries of the future. The Industrial Innovation Project will be rolled out to encourage central government enterprises and other SOEs to take the lead in application scenario expansion, and in the fields of aviation and aerospace, biomedicine, and low-altitude economy, we will foster some emerging pillars, and we will also nurture industries of the future, such as future energy, quantum technology, embodied AI, brain-computer interfaces, and 6G technology, among other future-oriented industries. We will roll out mechanisms to help grow SMEs that use specialized and sophisticated technologies so that they will become the leaders of future technology. We will also enhance the capacity and quality of the service sector. Efforts will be made to press ahead with trials to promote integrated development of advanced manufacturing and modern services, covering finance, modern logistics, intellectual property services, and inspection and testing. And we will also work to boost the quality, diversity, and accessibility of consumer services. And market access will be further expanded for investment in priority areas. And we will also create new forms of smart economy. And this means expanding the AI Plus initiative, promoting faster application and commercial application of AI agents. And we will also launch super large-scale AI application and hyperscale intelligent computing clusters. And we will also develop satellite internet and build high-quality data sets so as to improve AI governance. 3. Moving faster to achieve greater self-reliance and strengthen science and technology. We should seize the historic opportunities for technological revolution and industrial transformation to raise our capacity across major fields of technology. We will drive advances in original innovation and breakthroughs in core technologies in key fields. And we will also enhance the R&D spending on basic research and build China's strengths in strategic science and technology in a coordinated way and ensure self-sufficiency in science and technology. We will promote scientific and technological literacy among the public and promote the spirit of innovation. Efforts will be made to pursue full integration between technological and industrial innovation. The Beijing, Tianjin, Hebei, and Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau Greater Bay Area will be built into international centers for science-tech innovation. We will build them into world-class innovation engines. The principal role of enterprises in innovation will be reinforced, and we will also create innovation and consortia and undertake more major national science and technology projects. And we will also empower innovation and creation with fintech. Efforts will also be made to promote integrated development of education, science, technology, and talents. The integrated mechanism will be rolled out to boost coordination across development plans, and we will improve mechanisms for ensuring talent training, and we will also cultivate a higher quality of talents and build national centers for interdisciplinary studies and to do more to cultivate top-tier homegrown innovators. We will also deliver smooth channels for talents exchanges so that talents of all types can leverage their potential in China. 4. Continue to deepen reforms in key areas. We will intensify efforts to build a unified national market. The regulations will be drawn up on developing a unified national market. We will also work out a list of do's and don'ts for local governments, investment attractions, and roll out better regulatory policies on tax breaks and government subsidies. And we will also address monopolies and unfair competition with greater intensity so as to build a good and sound market environment and roll out a number of pilot programs. So more and more qualified regions and cities will be included in this pilot program. We will also reform the fiscal, tax, and financial system. Fiscal resources and budgets will be further and better coordinated so as to raise the share of state capital gains that are collected by the central government. And we will also promote sound fiscal management and advance and improve local tax systems and expand the sources of tax revenue at the local level. And we will also optimize the scope and rate of excise tax and move its collection on some items further down the production to consumption chain. And we will also improve the payment system for investment. We will also energize all market entities. The two unswerving initiatives will be consolidated. The SOE and the state capital reform will be further strengthened to refine the layout of the state-owned sector. We will also champion the enterprising spirit so as to drive the overall development of the private sector. We will refine the modern corporate system and address wage arrears and undue payments for enterprises so that enterprises can be settled in their developments. 5. Expanding high standard opening up. We will take the initiative to open wider to the outside world. In the service sector in particular, we will expand market access and open up more areas. We will further expand opening up trails for value-added telecom services and also refine the comprehensive demonstration zones for free trade zones, and we will advance the efforts in the Hainan Free Trade Zone. And we will also keep the volume of foreign trade stable and refine its mixes, and we will give both credit and credit insurance support, expand cross-border use of RMB, and ensure integrated development of trade and investment of the domestic and foreign trade, and cross-border commerce plus overseas warehouse models will be further scaled up, and intermediary delivery and services will be further enhanced, and we support service exports and boost imports to promote balanced trade and further facilitate cross-border trade. We will also expand two-way investment cooperation. We will deepen reform of the institutional framework for promoting foreign investment and ensure national treatment for foreign-funded enterprises. A new edition of the catalog of encouraged industries for foreign investment will be implemented, and foreign-funded enterprises will be encouraged to reinvest in China and expand production locally. We will enhance services and support for foreign-funded enterprises, and development zones and industrial parks of all types will be better supported, and we will also guide the overseas distribution of industrial layouts and improve comprehensive overseas service. We will pursue high-quality Belt and Road cooperation, and this means strengthening strategic alignment with the Belt and Road partners and roll out a number of small but beautiful public well-being projects so that our development results can benefit more people.
6. Advancing all-round rural revitalization. We will always committed to green production, keep a firm focus on green production, and we will place equal emphasis on output and capacity, production and conservation, and output expansion and income growth. We'll step up efforts in the initiative to raise green production capacity by 50 million metric tons and increase output of green and edible oil stable. And we will continue to boost the seeds industry and also to grow the high-quality land and also boost development of the advanced machinery and maintain that the crop prices in a reasonable range. All localities should shoulder their due responsibility and make sure that food security is well guaranteed. We will provide regular targeted assistance. We will bring that into the plan of rural revitalization so as to guard against any large-scale lapse or relapse into poverty. Assistance policy will generally remain unchanged. We will increase employment and industry. We will continue to provide follow-up support to people relocated from inhospitable areas, and we will also help them to enjoy faster growth and boost the internal growth momentum of these areas. We will continue to advance rural revitalization and rural reform and development. Province-wide trials on extending rural land contracts by another 30 years upon the expiration of the current second round of contracts will be conducted across the country. We developed the local distinctive industries and help that the local farmers increasing their income. And we will also to improve the weak links in the living environment, and so that we could build a beautiful and harmonious countryside for people to live and work in. Seventh, advancing new urbanization and coordinated regional development. We will continue to promote a people-centered new urbanization. Well-conceived and systematic measures will be taken to grant permanent urban residence to people who move to cities from rural areas, and also that we ensure more children of rural migrant workers can take high school entrance examinations in their current place of residence. And we will continue to renovate the residential compounds, old urban residential compound and the urban village. And we will boost development of projects for ensuring urban infrastructure, and also will emphasize on the zoning function and the localities should base on their defined functions to leverage their competitive advantages, and develop that the places, the provinces should take greater responsibilities. And we will deepen the administrative region cooperation. Eighth, taking stronger measures to ensure and improve the people's well-being. We will promote high-quality full employment. We will bolster support for employment through various policies. And for the graduates and other young people, we will also introduce policies to support them to find a job. And for the people in a flexible employment and a new form of employment, they will participate in social security programs. And we will also facilitate employment and entrepreneurship through better adaptation to the development of AI technology. We will also guarantee the payment to the rural migrant workers. And we will also conduct large-scale training programs for upgrading vocational skills to equip more workers with marketable skills that will help them secure better jobs and higher earnings. We will enhance education, equity, and equality. We will carry out the project on fostering virtual through education in the new era, and also increase the quality of the education. And for the free preschool education, will continue to refine the policy and increase the supply of regular senior secondary school places. Enrollment in quality undergraduate program will continue to expand it. We will also enhance the school capability with distinctive features. We will also to build that system that the schools, society, and families collaboration together. And we will also make sure that the students and young people realize well-rounded development. We will strengthen basic medical and health services. We will deepen the reform of public hospitals to see that they better serve the public interest, and provide greater operational support for county, district, and the community-level medical institutes. And we will also to optimize the position, the function of the medical institute, and we will also continue to ensure better medication continuity at primary level medical institute, and we will promote preservation and innovative development of TCM, and the government subsidy for basic medical insurance for rural and non-working urban residents will be raised by 24 yuan per person, and we will continue to do the central procurement work, and we will also boost the high-quality development of innovative drugs and medical devices so as to better meet people's diverse needs for medicines and medical services. We will improve social security and social services. Minimum basic old age benefits for rural and non-working urban residents will be raised by 20 yuan per month. And we will continue that the consistency of the social insurance transferring to different locations. We will also boost the development of rural the elderly care services and boost development of the silver economy. And we will also carry out a project to boost the rehabilitation service. And for the senior people and also that the people with disabilities, they will receive more support. And we will develop that integrated development of the child care and the nursing services. We will also to make better use of the resources, and also to provide social assistance by tiers and in different categories. We will better meet people's needs in terms of the cultural.
And we will follow the core socialist values in guiding cultural development, and we will develop the press, publishing, radio, film, television, literature, art, and other fields in promoting their production. And we will also encourage museums, public libraries, and cultural centers to open to the public and improve the service system for the public. And we will also develop high-quality cultural tourism and develop an integrated business farm. And we will also develop more popular public sports activities. And 9, accelerating the green transition across the board. We will step up comprehensive efforts to improve the environment, and we will ensure blue skies, clear water, and clean lands. And we will formulate plans to ensure air quality improvement. The natural reserve land will be comprehensively upgraded so as to ensure clear sky and lucid water. And we will also boost the green and low carbon economy. And in major fields, we will roll out green and low carbon development plans, and the national low carbon fund will be established to drive clean energy transition, and we will actively work towards peaking carbon emissions and achieving carbon neutrality. And the system will be rolled out to control both the total amount and intensity of carbon emissions. And the system for managing footprint will be refined, and the new national electric power system will be improved so as to accelerate the construction of smart grid and efficient use of fossil fuels. 10, strengthening risk prevention and mitigation and enhancing security capacity in key areas. We will work to stabilize the real estate market, and city-specific policies will be rolled out to refine supply and boost demand. And we will take measures to engage in reforms of the housing providence and fund system. And we will also launch an action plan to improve property management services. And we will also roll out some additional measures. Efforts will also be taken to diffuse local government debt risks. And this includes diffuse hidden debt risks at a faster pace. And stringent measures will be taken to prevent fraudulent debt resolution. A number of measures will be adopted to diffuse operational debt risks in local government financing platforms. And a long-term mechanism will be established to conduct unified government debt management. We will also take active measures to diffuse financial risks. Local SMEs will be encouraged to get involved in diffusing financial risks, and we will also strengthen early warning and early rectification measures for risks. We will safeguard national security and social stability. We will fully apply a holistic approach to national security and improve the national security governance. And we will strengthen safe production, enhance the foundation of disaster and risk relief. And in northern countries, we will shore up infrastructure and emergency response and other weak links. The social governance system will be improved, and we will support the multimodal dispute handling framework at the local level. And we will also build a greater and safer China. with new circumstances and challenges, higher requirements are posed for the government, and we will have to gain a deeper understanding about the two establishes and remain committed to the four confidences and to do well in terms of two establishes, and we need to stay aligned to the CPC Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at the core. And also we have to shore up the responsibility in stricter party self-governance, and we will combine with the efforts of cracking down on corruption and legitimate behaviors that are related to people's lives. And we will also engage in substantial efforts. We will build a law-based government and perform our duties in accordance with the Constitution and the law. And we will accept the oversight of the National People's Congress and the government. And we will also accept the supervision of the society through public opinion and media. Efforts will be made to increase the administrative efficiency, and also we will take solid steps to make government affairs more transparent and improve the way we communicate and explain policies to the public. And we will explore new models of high-quality development and work very hard to fight against formalities and bureaucracies to lower the burden for grassroots level government. We will build a greater environment for talents, for public opinions, and also for the business. And across the society, we are going to foster a unified strength of high-quality development. With a focus on forging a strong sense of the community for the Chinese nation, we will promote such sense of community, and we will adhere to the party's basic policy on religious affairs, ensure that religions in China are Chinese in orientation, and we will implement the party's policy on overseas Chinese affairs and protect the legitimate rights and interests of Chinese nationals residing abroad and those who have returned to China. Last year saw new achievements in modernizing national defense and the armed forces. This year, we will continue to apply Xi Jinping's thoughts on strengthening the military and implement the military strategy for the new era. We will stay committed to the party's absolute leadership over the people's armed forces and fully and thoroughly implement the system of ultimate responsibility resting with the chairman of the Central Military Commission. And we will improve military political conduct and make major strides towards the centenary goal of the PLA, and we will make solid gains in military training and combat readiness. Efforts will also be made to strengthen the military during the 15th five-year plan period and enhance military civilian reforms and unity. And we will resolutely implement the policy of one country, two systems, under which the people of Hong Kong administer Hong Kong and people of Macau administer Macau. And we will see that Hong Kong and Macau are administered by patriots, so that Hong Kong and Macau can better integrate into and contribute to the country's overall development and ensure long-term prosperity and stability. And we will fully implement the party's overall policy for the new era on resolving the Taiwan question. We will stay committed to the One China principle and the 1992 consensus, resolutely fight against separatist forces aimed at Taiwan independence, and oppose external interference so as to promote the peaceful development of cross-strait relations and advance the cause of national reunification. We will stay committed to an independent foreign policy of peace and to peaceful development. We will safeguard international fairness and justice. China stands ready to work with all members of the international community to promote the Global Development Initiative, Global Security Initiative, and the Global Civilization Initiative, as well as the Global Governance Initiative, so as to build a community of shared future for mankind. Fellow deputies, the blueprint has been drawn and the time for action has come. Let us rally more closely around the CPC Central Committee with Comrade Xi at its core, hold high the great banner of socialism with Chinese characteristics, and follow the guidance of Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era. Let us forge ahead with one heart to accomplish the objectives and tasks for this year's economic and social development and get off to a good start in implementing the 15th five-year plan. Let us strive to build a great country and advance national rejuvenation on all fronts through China's modernization.